Come on, let's do it.
All right, time to get a little supper on a Thursday night. I want to get this shot tonight because I'm making a nice little dinner. Nice little dinner for me. Some of my viewers are going to be a little disappointed when they see what I'm cooking. However, I have a potential dinner engagement Saturday, but I want to get started tonight. This thing is not carved in stone, but assuming I have this dinner date on Saturday, I want to have this in the can. I can come home from work tomorrow, Friday, get at least mostly edited and wrapped by Saturday morning. So I can have a nice, relaxing dinner with a friend on Saturday and have the show ready to go. So let's head over to the marble here. I've got everything out. We're going to do some polenta. Let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
All right, here's our polenta. Nice organic ground yellow cornmeal I get at the health food store. Italian grits, let's call it. But that's not what my viewers are going to be bummed about. Over the polenta, I'm going to put some fungi. Look at this beautiful collection of mushrooms I have here. My traditional white button. I've got some blue oyster and some, I think these were called beech. I don't know, there's a great selection of fungi at this market I shop at. I'm going to do a little red onion. I've got some grana padano here, some butter. And then off the tomato paste, and then off the windowsill, some rosemary and thyme. And now usually when you do these mushrooms, you can splash in a little white wine. No wine in the house right now. I'll pick that up on Friday for the weekend. I tend to let the house dry out, but I do have some nice Kentucky bourbon. So we'll go with a shot of that in our mushrooms. I'm going to get the mushrooms on first because they could always just be warmed through. I want to pay attention to the polenta while it's on the stove. So let's head over to the stove and get these mushrooms sauteed up. All right, got my famous 40-plus-year-old omelet pan from the Hut Guy out. 40 years of seasoning on that thing. I'm going to put in a little bit of Greek olive oil. I showed you this on the last episode. This extra virgin Greek that I buy in bulk, and I broke my ceramic olive oil jar. I need to get something to keep the light out of this, but I do keep it dark in the pantry. It's a beautiful olive oil. And to that, I'm going to add a little bit of butter. This pan might be a little small for the amount of mushrooms. By the way, I prepped everything, cleaned off the mushrooms, chopped them, chopped my onion, chopped my herbs. So we are ready to go. And once I chopped up the mushrooms, I realized this pan might be a little small, but we'll manage to make it work. Grab myself a spoon over here. And I hear a little sizzle there, so let's put our red onion in. Saute that for a little bit. Oh, you know what? I'm going to also smash up a little clove of garlic here. Can't hurt. This is an improv tonight. I picked up the polenta on a shopping trip to that market some time back, and it's been in the ball jars up on the shelves all this time. Actually, I kind of forgot about it. And I was like, ooh, it's time for some polenta. I mean, there's so many great things you could put over it. Squid, shrimp. But I'm going with this fungi. Red onion. Put in some garlic. Oh, it smells delicious already. Onion and garlic. Beautiful start to any meal. I'm going to open the tomato paste. Put in, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon of that. Pinch of salt. Pepper. And now I am going to add my mushrooms. Cleaned them off, chopped them up. Nice 3 mushroom blend. Okay. All right. Let's put in a bourbon. Thinking maybe a little water too, but the mushrooms will release liquid. So we're going to leave it just as is. And let's toss in the thyme and rosemary. We'll find out in a minute if we want to add a little water to just bind everything together. I think I might. You can always cook it out. But the thing was, I want this to be like a mushroom ragu. I want it almost a little bit soupy when it goes over the polenta. There we go. Now let this cook for a few minutes. And I'm going to move it to the back burner. I'll close up this camera for the moment, and I'll see you back here at the front burner, and we'll get our polenta on. All right, let's make some polenta. Italian grits. What I have on the stove here is 4 cups of liquid. Now you could use stock, you can use water, you can use milk. I did half and half, 2 cups of whole milk, 2 cups of water. I've made it all different ways. There are polenta purists out there who say only use water and just taste the cornmeal. But I had some whole milk in the house, and I don't usually keep milk in the house. I can't remember what I had it for, another recipe or something. So I brought this up to a boil. I did taste the mushrooms. They're absolutely delicious. I added a pinch of salt, and I turned the heat off. We can warm them through when we're ready. And the polenta can take, whoa! Almost boiled it over. I probably should have, you know what? I think I can. Hold on. I misjudged because it will grow as it cooks as well. Should use this pot to start. There we go. That's better. And let me get the heat back on. You do want it at the boil until all the cornmeal is in, and then we'll turn it down. Disaster averted. That almost spilled over on me, huh? So as I was saying, we want to put it in bits at the boil level, but then when we cook it, we're going to turn it down to a low simmer. I won't say it's exactly like risotto. Risotto is rice. It's more of a starch releasing issue, but in a similar method, you want it to cook nice and slow in the liquid. This is not anything you do in a hurry. And I added about a teaspoon of kosher salt. So 4 cups, 2 cups of water, 2 cups of milk to 1 cup of cornmeal. It's really going to absorb all the liquid. So 4 to 1. And I have a spoon ready here. It's going to get too thick for the whisk after a while. So, okay, I think we can now begin to lower the heat. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cover it. This does not need to be a constant stir, but you want to stir every 5 minutes or so and take a look. Let's see, I did add more salt, a mushroom mixture. Oh, fresh thyme and rosemary. Oh, That's beautiful. When the polenta's ready, we'll splash a little more liquid just to loosen it all up and put it over our cornmeal. Let's see what's going on in here. It hasn't been 5 minutes, but I want to keep an eye on the heat, how high I want it. You can already see it's absorbing the liquid. All right, I'm going to shut the camera. I'll keep doing this every 5-6 minutes or so. Maybe in about 15, I'll turn the camera back on. So take a good look at it now. And we'll have another look when it's thicker. All right, it's been a good 15, almost 20. I've been in here every 5 or so minutes. You can see things thickening up. I switched spoons. I didn't like the holes in that spoon. So I got my trusty old little guy. This has also been with me 30, maybe 40 years. I think it was my grandmother's. You need to really appreciate these things, these tools that go down through generations and whatnot. That all goes into your food. Trust me. So look how we're getting nice and thick. It's like a porridge now. I did taste it. It's lava hot. You have to be careful. But I wanted to see if I put enough salt in there. And just like a risotto, perfect salt. That corn flavor. I don't make enough polenta. I need to start doing it a lot more frequently. With squid. Now some people will cook this upwards of an hour because it just keeps absorbing. But I'm going to say another 10, 15, we're good to go. And just like a risotto, as I started to say and interrupted myself, we're going to finish it with a little bit of grated, well, I was going to say Parmesan, this is Grana Padano, and a little hit of butter at the very end, and then let it rest. And it's already delicious. With the butter and cheese, it's going to be delightful. With this fungi ragu on top, I am psyched. All right, I'm going to cover it again. I'll give it another 5, stir it, give it another 5, stir it, and then I think we're going to be about ready. See you in a few. I know it's Thursday, but I had to open it for the shot, right? For the mushrooms. Our polenta, listen, I think a couple of episodes ago, yeah, it was 2 episodes ago, I made the pizzas in the Breville oven. And I said something on that episode that I just said it off the top of my head, but I stand by it, and I'll repeat it. You can look up polenta recipes, and they may say cook a half hour, cook an hour. You need to rely on your senses. I let this go a little longer than I said I was going to, and I started a few times. I tasted, salt's good. The last time I picked this up, there was a noticeable difference in the aroma. Just the corn, it just came out at me. I was like, ooh. That's when I knew it was ready. It told me. So, let me get the camera in here, give you a look at it. It's bubbling like a lava pit. Let's have a look. All right, look at the activity in there. Nice and thick. Just corn aroma spilling out of this pot. Look at that. Polenta. So now let's go in with some Grana Padano. You could use Parmigiano Reggiano. You could use Locatelli, Pecorino Romano, cheese of your choice. Just get some grated cheese in there to your liking, and I'm liking a lot. And the old Irish-Italian mix, little Kerrygold, Irish butter. Put about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And let's mix that all into melt. And then we're going to turn off the heat. And just like a nice pot of risotto, I'm going to cover this and let it rest. I do have a little on this spoon to check with cheese and butter. Let's give it a test. This is lava hot. You have to be careful. Oh, it's what I love about risotto too. The way that you get it to this point where it's creamy, it's absolutely delicious. And then you add your butter and cheese, and a whole new thing starts to happen. Okay, that's gonna rest. So let me get the back burner on, just medium low, but it's coagulated, so I do want to splash a little water in there, just to loosen things up and warm them through. I'm calling this a mushroom ragu. We want it to sit nicely on top of our polenta, but with a little, I'll say, liquidity to it, right? And I don't mean that in a financial sense. I mean that in a culinary sense. Oh, yeah. It cooled down. We definitely want to heat it up. What a flavor, though. All right. See you over for the plating. All right, you may hear that fungi sizzling away in the back. Let's get some polenta in our bowl here. Oh, this is beautiful. It's getting a little late. I don't usually like to eat within an hour of going to bed, and it's 8:17. So I'm not going to go overboard. I've been picking while I go. Look how much polenta's left. We'll talk about that later. Now what I'm going to do is just make a little indentation here for the accommodation of our fungi. Looks like I have polenta con fungi for lunch tomorrow. A little salad on the side. All right, let's garnish this up. We've got plenty of cheese in the risotto. Listen to me. It's on my mind. In the polenta. But let's go with a few shavings of the grana, just to get those nice bites. Some fresh parsley, and I'm ready to go in on this. Polenta con fungi. 3 nice mushrooms. White button, blue oyster, and the mystery mushroom. You know, I was at this market. They have all these beautiful mushrooms. Lion's mane. They had morels, $50 a pound. But they weren't marked very well. I even told the girl at the register, I'm like, I think this is this one. She looked them up. I think it was the beach mushroom, that sort of one that looked almost like enoki but dark brown. Oh, this is fantastic. I tell you, the thing with buying these different mushroom varieties, each one has its own texture. Some are more chewy than others. Oh, and with the polenta, wow. There's friends of mine out there right now, several of them, who would not touch mushrooms with a 10-foot spatula. That's fine. I'm sure you have things on your table on certain evenings that I wouldn't care to eat. I judge no one. I have a British friend, grew up in London, lives a couple of doors down now. I feed him a lot. He feeds me a lot. I was up there last weekend for a beautiful sushi dinner. he would say of this, it's world class. It's world class. We'll see you for the next episode.
Come on, let's do it.
All right, it's Sunday morning. I'm getting ready to post the show, and I realize I accidentally trashed a couple of clips. Earlier in the episode, I said I'll show you what I'm going to do with it later, what was left in the pot. Well, I spread it out. Over in Italy, they do it on like a wooden board. I used the top plastic lid to one of those like takeout containers, and I just spread it about that thick, and I just left it on the counter until it dried. Then I refrigerated it overnight, so you get this slab of polenta dried, and then I cut it into pieces and grill it on the top of the stove on the flat griddle, but the side with the lines in it. So you get nice little grill marks. It becomes so crispy. It's delicious. And I sauteed some shrimp with it on the same griddle. Salt, pepper, little dried oregano, paprika. And here's what I wound up with. Amazing.